We're talking NFL action, Bengals and Texans.
We've got a promo code. The code is HOLIDAY for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net.
The Texans are favored -8. The total is 46. It's a short week for the Bengals, of course, coming off that big win over the Steelers, and then the Texans are home for the first time in 3 weeks. But the breaking news is that Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson has been fined for not wearing a mask indoors. He was photographed at the opening of his new restaurant, where several other Texans players were also at, not wearing masks. So not sure who's going to be playing in this one as of taping. I don't know if that warrants these players not playing or if it's just a fine, but definitely some moving parts in this one. We've got Lee from ASA joining us to break it all down. Lee, such is the case when it comes to the year 2020, a lot of moving parts, but what's your take on Texans and Bengals?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a really fishy line when it first came out at 8.5. I mean, why is Houston at 4-10 this big of a favorite over a touchdown against Cincinnati? But I believe the number's been set according to what's happened previously this week with Cincinnati beating Pittsburgh. They had just 230 total yards of offense and somehow managed to score 27 points in that game, which is kind of unheard of. If Deshaun Watson, offensive line player, Brandon Cooks can play in this game, I would lean towards the Texans just because of the short week, off such a big emotional win for Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Houston's coming off of 3 straight games of facing the Colts, the Bears, and the Colts, who are 6th and 7th in defensive efficiency this year. Now they step way down in talent against a Bengals team that's like 30th, 31st in most defensive categories. They put up 41 points a few weeks ago against a Lions team that's very similar. Houston did, that is. Won by 16 against the Lions. I'd say the Lions and the Bengals are on par here, so I would probably take Houston minus the points in this game if everybody is playing.
Right. I think this one is a tricky one for me just because you have to wonder, did the Bengals really play that well or did the Steelers just play like absolute trash? And I think it could have been a little bit of both, but it just depends on where you think this Bengals team is, because obviously before that Steelers game, on paper, this Bengals team is not good in any category when it comes to defense, when it comes to offense, just not a good overall team, but they did beat the Steelers team in primetime. So do you think, I already probably know the answer to this one, where you think this Bengals team actually is at? Any other leanings on this one, maybe on a total or just things you think bettors should know?
Well, like I say, when it comes down to it and you're looking at I call this a garbage game, 2 bad teams really. They've, got some really bad numbers statistically, but the Bengals are 2-19-1 their last 22 road games, and they've lost those games by an average of 8.5 points per game. So historically, in the short term here, they have not done well on the road. So again, another factor that favors Houston. Bengals 1-7 straight up their last 8 on a short week, so coming off a short week of the Monday night game too. So yeah, there's just enough there to have me lean towards Houston, and the total is not anything I'm going to mess with.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our NFL talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Lee from ASA. Lee, thanks for joining us.